Today we're talking control grips, where I install some pretty clean, pretty functional stick grips. But it didn't actually start out like that. It started out pretty rough. It's R&D, I swear. I'm trying to figure out a way to make the passenger's control stick removable yet secure. It's some real skunk labs type stuff. You can tell because of the immaculate work surface and clean shop. I'm trying to create sort of like a tent pole type design where you have that little bead that you push in and then the stick locks. I'm using a pop rivet, an idea that's not totally mine. I think I heard it somewhere, but it sounded good and it seems to work. I feel like I've left a lot out, so bear with me as I try to explain a little bit of what's going on here. That whole router bit type looking thing was actually to create a hollow groove down a block of wood so that I could hopefully find a similarly matched piece of metal in which I would sandwich the aluminum and then pound an arc into the aluminum. That way the radius of that arc would more closely match the radius of the control stick, taking up less room and offering a little bit of rigidity. Spoiler alert, that arc offered too much rigidity and even worsened the tendency for the aluminum to fatigue and break. I wound up replacing this altogether with a piece of something even more creative. A hint? It's sitting on this workbench right in front of me, though I didn't realize it at the time. After a bunch of futzing about, I got it to work, and it's really secure. It will not come undone until you depress that button, and then it slides right out. I would say the only downside is that it does allow for some slight rotation of the control grip if you twist really hard. However, if you kind of just jam it down into the bottom, it sticks pretty well. Alright, so now that I kind of ruined this one by talking through it all, I'll go back and we'll show how this actually went down. God, who freezes on a frame like that? Come on, Ryan. Not only did I drill the two holes for my attachment method, I also drilled a hole for the wires. Since those can't go out the bottom of this thing or else this whole removable idea wouldn't work. I want to note, I think Vans tells you to steer clear of drilling any holes in these because of strength concerns. I'm okay with it because this is the co-pilot's stick, and so we'll likely see far less use and far less stress. And of course, you've got some redundancy built in with the pilot stick. All in all, it works great. It's fun to see these grips in here and the control stick in there. One thing that I missed is I'm gonna have to cut this stick down. I figured out the stick adds about 3 3/4 inch to the height of the overall control stick. I'd like to leave those as close to stock as possible. I do know you want some clearance between the top of the stick and your panel. I really don't want to take this all apart, so I'm likely going to try to do this with it half assembled still and see if I can't cut a section of this out and then reinstall the control grip on the top. The co-pilot was the difficult one. The pilot, straightforward. Once I got it cut down and installed, all we're doing is making some connectors here so we can plug these things in. So at this point, this is really cool. However, the excitement is short-lived, as I still have more linkage to put in that will tie these two sticks together. This lateral bar will do the trick, and I nearly got ahead of myself, though this is one of those areas of the build that there's really no great way to go about it. You're just going to have like 6 hands. One of my tricks to do this with a mere 2 hands was to create this little washer holder wrench thing that you see here. This thing would hold the washer flat in a really sort of precarious way, and you could slide it in there, push the bolt through the washer, and then just pull the wrench out. Now is a good time to check and make sure that your sticks are parallel. Probably a half an hour ago was a better time, but now also works. If you're like me, your sticks are about, I don't know, 2 or 3 degrees off, and you're going to have to remove those bolts and do it all over again. But that's okay. I was dying to use my washer wrench again. One of my favorite things about these connectors, other than their ease of use, is these little connectors that will attach to the back. You can either screw them on with a low profile screw head, or like me, utilize some 2-part epoxy and stick these things wherever you want. This allows you to engage the plug and then secure it so that it's not flopping around, floating around, getting in the way of things. Like in my case right here with the control sticks, I'm worried about the control action and having a connector down there. This will be securely attached to the bottom skin, so I don't have to worry. Flaps are about the only way I can test these things right now. Nothing else is really hooked up, and I don't want to use my push to talk to broadcast from my garage, but I'm satisfied that they're connected and working utilizing the flaps alone. We'll go ahead and test all functions of these obviously at some point, but until then, I'm going to call this one done. I'm once again impressed by the product I've chosen. I really like the value of the grips. I love the look. I didn't want something that screamed like F-15 fighter jet, but I also wanted a lot of functionality, and I feel like there was a balance with the Pioneer Control Grip, which is initially why I chose them. They don't disappoint in real life. The service was top-notch. They helped guide me through it. Fabrication and shipping were both incredibly quick. I couldn't be happier, really, with my purchase. I will say, the only thing I was a little disappointed in, but I knew getting into it, was the 3D printed grip. I saved a boatload of money, and I really need to do that right now. I typically loathe 3D printed parts. The resolution usually, for me, leaves something to be desired. They just look a little rough. In this instance, 99.9% of the grip looks great. The 3D printed passes align to create sort of this satin, almost metallic-y finish. I love it, except for one little spot where the top of the stick kind of rounds over, and it really brings to light the resolution of that printer, and you wind up with some pretty obvious passes. This is me being picky. This is also me saving hundreds of dollars and not going with a more high-end wood look, which I think Pioneer Control Grips is actually better known for. I would have loved some ash wood grain with a real light gray color to go with everything else that I have in the plane. I just couldn't part with the money. I would say the concession, totally worth it. I love what I got here. I'll get over my idiosyncrasies with the 3D printing. And once again, very happy with how this turned out. Listen, that's about it for all of these pieces that I recently purchased and have been installing in the plane. To be honest, I'm not fully sure where to go next. I got a lot of cleaning to do and a little bit of research, but there are some things on the horizon which I anticipate you will see soon. Just to tease a few of those, I got to get my rudder pedals hooked up, brake lines run, and secure away that area of the build before I start adding skins. I'd also like to make sure that all of my wire runs are better secured, and everything running through the center tunnel is finalized before I block off anything here. From there, we are looking at adding some of the last skins. I also need to figure out what I'm doing with this. I have some items in play. I'm pretty sure I know where I'm headed for the final panel, and hopefully I can show it off soon, but there's a lot of work to be done before that point. And from there, I believe we'll start getting into the canopy and slider, which is gonna take months from what I hear, so be prepared for a lot of content about both the canopy and the slider. Until then, I want to once again, as always, thank everybody for all the lovely comments. Thanks for watching. Thanks for giving me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, think about doing it. We will catch you next time on Ryan Flies. I didn't forget about you. I know somebody's still watching going, but Ryan, what about that part you teased, the creative solution for the little spring clamp thingy? Well, here's the deal. As I mentioned, that aluminum spring wound up fatiguing, and it broke, or at least it was about to. And I thought, man, I need something like springy and steel-like that can withstand repeated bends. And that's when I looked down and saw that hacksaw blade. Now, I was using that hacksaw blade to cut some foam that you'll see in an upcoming episode. But then it was sitting here, and I remembered that sometime, somebody had mentioned that they actually used a piece of a hacksaw blade for exactly what I'm doing here. So it's not so much of a creative solution as it is just me blatantly ripping off somebody else's bright idea, but I did it, and it worked great. After cutting a suitable size piece off and filing it down to the right size, I replaced the aluminum piece that I had beaten to death, and this thing springs properly like it should. And I have all the faith that it's actually going to do this for years on end rather than fatigue and break like a worn paperclip like that last piece did. So there you are. There you have it. That's what I was talking about earlier.